Confined Space Awareness Training. MRO is committed to a safe workplace for its employees. The purpose of this program is to inform employees of the confined and permit spaces at this workplace and ensure that all employees are aware of the associated dangers. This is accomplished by evaluating each confined space in the workplace, informing all employees of the location and the hazards of each permit space, training authorized entrance, attendants, and entry supervisors so that they have the skills necessary to fulfill their duties. All other employees will receive awareness training only. Your job duties will not require you to enter a confined permit required space. A confined space is large enough and so configured that an employee can bodily enter and perform assigned work. It also has limited or restricted means of entry or exit, and it is not designed for continuous occupancy. A permit space is a confined space that has one or more of the following. The space contains or has a potential to contain a hazardous atmosphere. Contains a material that has the potential for engulfing an entrant. Has an internal configuration such that an entrant could be trapped or asphyxiated by inward converging walls or by a floor which slopes downward and tapers to a smaller cross-section, and or contains any other recognized serious safety or health hazard. Entry means the action by which a person passes through an opening into a permit-required confined space. Entry is considered to have occurred as soon as any part of the entrance body breaks the plane of an opening into the space. Permit-required confined space program means the employer's overall program for controlling and, where appropriate, for protecting employees from permit space hazards and for regulating employee entry into permitted spaces. Entry permit means the written or printed document that is provided to allow the controlled entry into a permitted space. The entry permit must be displayed at the entrance to the permitted space, along with a two-sided warning placard. Here are samples of the entry permit and warning placard. As required by OSHA regulations, MRO has analyzed our facilities and have come up with the following confined spaces. Any hazardous material storage tank, such as fuel trucks and fuel farms, de-ice trucks, and de-ice tanks, are permit-required spaces. Large transport category aircraft fuel tanks, in which the tank is large enough to fit your entire body, is a permit-required space. All other aircraft fuel tanks are confined spaces with no permit required. As with many things, if you are uncertain that the space you're getting ready to work in requires a permit, ask your supervisor. Here are a few examples of confined spaces. Ask yourself, what kind of space is this? This equipment bay is a confined space, but no permit is required. What about this air conditioning bay? Confined space, yes, no permit is required. How about this fuel tank? Well, this definitely is a confined space, but there's not enough information in this picture to make a determination whether a permit is required or not. You would have to ask your supervisor. If you had to climb into the bay to take this picture, yes, it would be a permit required space. How about this cargo bay? Yes, technically a cargo bay is a confined space, but there are no permits required. So what do you think? Here is an empty fuselage. Yes, it is a confined space, but there is no permit required. This training is designed to make you aware of the hazards associated with confined permit required spaces. As an employee of the MRO, you will not be asked to enter a permit required confined space without receiving additional training. This completes the Confined Space Awareness Training. Thank you for your time and attention.